It's starting to look like we are cooking up some big meals in the summer window, my friends, as today I have some massive updates and reports to get through. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hit that like button, show some love, be relaxed, get comfortable, and let's break down today's reports. Let's start with the first report because from the end of next month, we are finally gonna learn what Roman Abramovich has to say about his sanctions, why he had to sell the football club, plus a lot more in a massive interview that is set to be released, I think on the 27th or 29th of May. So get ready for that because there's a lot to unpack. Journalist Nick Pural had the fortune to interview Roman Abramovich. The book is like, I think, 100 pages long. So I am looking forward to it being released so I can absolutely dissect and go through what was written so I can relay everything down for you guys in a future news video. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I could potentially get this journalist on. And of course, if you guys want to get ready, pre-orders are available right now. So yeah, get it on Amazon. Get it right now and get ready for what's set to be, hopefully, a pretty explosive, insightful, illuminating interview from Roman Abramovich, because there's many question marks around the manner in which he was forced to sell the football club due to his ties and links with Vladimir Putin, due to the sanctions that was imposed on him during that time, and a lot more. So yeah, you guys, get ready for that. Should be a massive, massive interview. I think the last time we even got an interview with Roman came after Lampard got sacked in 2021. So yeah, it's for sure going to be something that's going to dominate headlines for a while to come. And this takes us on nicely to, at the moment, a player that seems is very likely or has an incredible, strong possibility to sign for us. And that is Bournemouth wonder kid sensation in Dean Huijsen. Now, if you guys remember the last reports, we had unofficially taken the lead for his services. We know that Real Madrid are out the running because they can't afford to pay his full release clause like that. And we're also learning that we may have an advantage now over other Premier League rivals for his services. Now, I said in the last video on Huijsen that his dad acts as his agent on behalf of his son, and naturally he would want big agent fees, right? That makes sense. But there's another side to this story. And both of them, Huijsen and his dad, they fall under the Epic Sports Agency umbrella. And the owner of that agency is Ali Barat. Now, Ali Barat has had a long-founded history with our new ownership as he's helped broker so many deals for players under his agency. His famous one being he helped broker the deal that allowed us to sign Moises Caicedo for the biggest fee in Premier League history. He's also helped broker deals for Datro, Fofana, even Nicholas Jackson. So in my head, and I'm sure you guys will piecing this together, this gives us another additional layer of an advantage. We have a bigger advantage now over the rest of the Prem clubs because Ali Barat knows he makes good money from us. We pay some of the highest agency fees in Europe right now. A crap ton of money, actually. So knowing that you have a successful working relationship gives us another additional advantage over other Prem clubs. And at the moment, not only do we have that from a financial perspective, but from a footballing perspective, we can offer Huijsen more direct and immediate game time. Because consider it like this. Man City are pretty stacked and they are targeting other areas outside of defence. At Arsenal, how likely is Huijsen to break through a Gabriel Saliba type of partnership? How likely is he break through a Van Dijk-Konate partnership at Liverpool? Right now, at 19 years old, it's simply only about playing week in and week out. And at the moment, we can clearly offer Huijsen the game time that he needs. Now, to add more context to this report, we are set to offer him a 7-year deal. So Real Madrid, if you have any future ambitions to try and sign Huijsen, you're going to have to break the bank and potentially pay a world record fee for a centre-back in the future, if anything like this, of course, ever materializes. So we are safeguarded by the contract length, which should work in our favor. in the long term. And we want to secure this deal before the start of the Club World Cup, which surely means that we are open or ready to pay the full release clause value. I don't know how likely Bournemouth would be to accept maybe an overpayment of his release clause to pay for a structured deal, because we can't forget that Juve own around 20% of his sell-on clause, so Bournemouth don't receive all that money. So what benefits do they get from agreeing to a structured deal for a player that they're already losing out on some money for, when they're a Premier League club that don't need to wait for money in the long term? This summer, Bournemouth are set to earn over 150 mil from the sales of Semenyo, Kirkeged, and of course Dean Huijsen. So whoever pays that money up front will have another advantage working in their favour. And I have to say, it's pretty exciting. Obviously, being like a fan sometimes, it can be hard, man, because I'll keep it brutally honest. You guys know that I'm down to see some experience right now. I've made the point that from a responsible point of view, would it make sense to maybe target a Mark Guy instead, right? Someone that offers a bit more leadership right now, has more Premier League experience and could really complement what we're doing at the moment. But then there's that fan part of me where, you just get gassed by the headlines, the possibilities of what the future could like somewhat look like, and just like all the irresponsible type of like fast food things that kind of capture your attention. But equally at the same time, I really do feel like Huijsen is probably going to be a generational defender. I was stupidly impressed with what I saw in his Roma spell. He's smashed things out the park playing for Bournemouth. A part of me is annoyed that, considering we have all these data analysts and youth as a model, how did we not sign him last summer and we signed Renato Vega for the same equivalent? So it was nowhere near the same quality of player as a Dean Huijsen. These are expensive lessons to learn, but I guess maybe the club see it like this. Right now is the best and only opportunity to sign a Huijsen at this value, because whoever he was to sign for in the future, the chances of signing him are remote and non-existent, and he won't get that opportunity again, especially if he is, hitting his potential and playing to his best abilities. So this is like the only window of opportunity to sign a Dean Huijsen at the moment. It seems the club are taking that, and obviously it's exciting to know we have the talent coming our way. But again, the question marks for this conversation will continue around just how soon are we set to be ready for any real proper title contending challenges or competing for trophies on a serious level. Because having like a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old in your back line in Cole and Huijsen, wow, these guys are superb talents. But even talents of this nature still need some time to just hone and fine-tune their experience, their game, their ability. And that isn't an overnight thing. So yes, we probably have one of the best ball-playing partnerships we've seen in the league. And it does seem like at the moment, I'll be targeting high-profile potential over immediate experience in the forms of Gary or maybe other centre-backs in this market. So there's a lot of interesting conversations, and maybe it's a cop-out, but I'm going to pose these questions to you guys. Do you feel like Huijsen is just so good, you can't afford to miss out on him, and this guy is the future? Or do you feel like maybe we had to take a hit on Huijsen, considering we have your Fofanas and Badias, and we got Sarr, the talented kid we've signed from Strasbourg, set to arrive here as well, and Achimpong already as part of our ownership. We already have incredible promise and experience in this team. Are we not overdoing it with the stockpiling, bringing in yet again another talent? Or maybe the third option is, are we going to see some surprises in defense, like a shock sell of Wesley Fofana or others? How do you guys feel about this, man? Give us your thoughts and opinions below. For the next story, my friends, we have some interesting, exciting reports surfacing around potential Kevin De Bruyne interest this summer. Now, if you guys remember the last reports, we know that we are not opposed to signing experience, the right experience, if it can provide us leadership and instant ability. And the whole world knows De Bruyne is set to leave Man City at the end of the season, he currently has a lot of interest in Saudi Arabia and a lot of interest in the MLS. But as the player himself has revealed, if the right offer, an opportunity presented itself in the Premier League, he would think about that and he could yet remain in the Prem. For a player of his stature and ability, he won't be going down to be playing for a Brighton or playing for relegation level teams. He will still want to compete in Europe. He will still want to compete for honours and playing at the highest level. And could we be doing like our own kind of remontada where we saw Lampard originally sign for Man City for that season? And yeah, we try and forget that season. We try and forget that season about what Frank did. And fast forward now to the future. De Bruyne is leaving Man City to come back to us. I don't know if that is something I would say no to. I don't think he's someone that would play week in, week out, but I think to have someone of his ability in the squad, hopefully for big games, his arm that he's putting around the younger players, the stuff the younger players are learning from him, I think that this could be a very responsible move in the short term. I could easily have De Bruyne for the next 18 to 24 months, especially when we can hopefully get like his best qualities, you know? We don't have to overplay him. We have enough options ready in midfield, and I really feel like our players could learn from him. Like, I remember being a younger fan back in the day. I would see like your Lampards, for example, learning how to head the ball properly because of Michael Ballack's influence. I would see like a lot of our players picking up certain techniques from each other, like Lampard as another example, you know, picking that knuckleball technique from Didier Drogba. I'm making this point because this is a real thing that happens within squads when the quality all around is that high and the players respect each other. You know, never rule out what a guy who's 24 plus can add to his game, depending on the quality of the squad and his teammates around him. And I don't know, I kind of see like these transferable qualities that could happen with your Enzos and co. Like, imagine if Enzo could maybe learn a little bit how to fine-tune some of his passing technique and ability, because De Bruyne, of course, is spitting game and putting him on game and telling him, oh, this is the best way to run this, X, Y, Z. These are some of the qualities that we're missing out on right now, and they definitely would have helped. You know what I mean? This is why I always hope that we kept N'Golo Kante and didn't end contract renewal talks, because imagine what Caicedo would have learned having Kante around him for just one season. So this opportunity has its benefits. Naturally, though, we are still assessing a move. Personally, I think that is fully reliant on us securing CL football, so we can maybe, you know, expand our wage bill. And that would also involve De Bruyne naturally accepting a massive wage cut, because he's earning around 400,000 a week. And again, if you want to stay in the Prem, no one is paying that money unless you've decided you're going to go to Saudi Arabia and just retire a very wealthy man. So let's watch this space. And yet again, I'm going to ask you, man, how do you feel about a potential De Bruyne reunion for next season? Comment away. My friends, they're the three main stories I'm going to focus on for now. There are more news reports set to be released by myself today because we have more stories, but I kind of want to maybe condense some of the watch time for these videos instead of making them like close to 20 minutes. I know you guys have things to do in your day, and I want to kind of simplify this process a little bit. So make sure you have those notification buttons on, because more videos are set to get uploaded today. But I think there's definitely enough conversation to have from these three stories. Yeah, I want to know how you're feeling about Roman's interview that's set to be released. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on Dean Huijsen. And I really want to know how you're feeling about a potential De Bruyne reunion. So I hope you guys enjoy. Catch you again later today. Love, my guys. Cool.